I'm Laura Kelleher, and this is the RedHead Rides. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have a super special guest, my friend and mentor and world champion. He knows a thing or two about bikes. This is Doug Chandler. Now, today I want to talk about something because I see a lot of misinformation on the web, and one of the subjects that has come up a lot is braking. So I wanted to come to you, Doug, and talk with you about braking. You know, maybe some differences between street riding and track riding. And what prompted this is that there was a vlogger who I really like, and he did a video, and it was entitled "How to Ride with Only Your Front Brake." And within the first 30 seconds of the video, he said 70% of your braking comes from your back brake. And so there was a lot of feedback, and he actually subsequently took the video down, and he was really great. And you know, he recognized that, oh, this is maybe not the best information, and he actually reached out to me and said, hey, are you going to do a braking video? So I thought I would come to you, and well, let's talk about that. What is your first thought when you hear that?
Well, there's a reason why you have two rotors on the front and just one smaller one on the rear.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, gosh, I guess I never really paid attention. I'm learning motorcycle maintenance.
Well, I think in general, I think majority of your braking is going to be done with the front. As long as you're in a straight line situation. And I think that it's a little mixed. I think when you first learn to ride a motorcycle, you know, you start with rear brake only, but I think that's just to kind of keep it basic, simple. As you get faster or speeds increase, I think you want to stop sooner. Now you start kind of transferring from rear only more to the front only. And motorcycles play a big part of it as well. You know, if it's a 4-stroke, you have a lot of engine brake or, you know, decel in the engine, to where if it's an older 2-stroke, those maybe not so much, so you'd want to use a little bit more rear brake, if any,
now,
on a 2-stroke.
This particular bike that he's on is a newer Kawasaki 300,
Okay.
Ninja 300. So does engine size play a difference, you know, a 300 versus a 600?
Not so much. I think, again, it's more of the engine, you know, 2-stroke, 4-stroke. 4-stroke to 300,
yes.
You know, being a 4-stroke on decel or rolling off the gas, the engine itself is going to produce engine brake.
Yeah. Now let's say you've been riding with 70% back brake.
Mm-hmm.
How's that going to affect the bike?
Well, I think if it was a flat track bike, it'd be great.
Which is that one over there. But if you're on the street,
bike,
you're on a 600 or, you know, a new...
One, it's going to be tough, especially if you're going through a right-hand corner, leaning it over, trying to, you know, keep your foot on the brake pedal. Again, I don't even think you could use 30%. I think 30% going in, you know, at a pretty high rate of speed, you know, entry of the corner, you start leaning it over with 30%, it's, you know, I think going to kind of skid the thing and potentially high side you.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's the big thing. You don't want to be high siding on the street. You don't want to high side anywhere.
I think it's good practice for a beginner on anything 2 wheels. Is you almost want to over brake or slow the thing down more than what you think you need to for the corner coming. That way, it's going to enable you to come into the throttle sooner, which one thing when you crack the throttle, you're going to settle the bike, you know, even out the suspension and balance it to where if there's any bumps through the corner, it's going to work properly, to where if you've gone in too fast, you're still off the gas, you got the front end weighted because you're on decel, and if it's low in the stroke, you hit a bumper, if it's a rough road, it could, you know, kind of hop out and, you know, put you on your ear. That's where it's kind of a good practice, just to, I think, a comfort level as well, to over brake, slow the thing down a little bit more than what you think you need to.
While you're straight up and down.
Right, and as you're, you know, tipping it into the corner, come into the throttle or just crack it to settle the bike to where the suspension can, you know, absorb any kind of bumps or, you know, differences in the road surface.
And then that'll help you so you don't run wide, you stay in your lane.
And as you become more comfortable and confident with that, you can kind of increase your speed or entry speed into the corner. But I think it's still a good practice to kind of settle the bike as soon as possible, cracking the throttle.
Would you say by cracking the throttle, obviously smooth, no crazy inputs, don't yard on anything, but what percentage open wise?
Just minimal. I mean, just to settle it, to get the weight off the front and transfer a little bit, more to the rear, or balance the bike. And again, you don't tip into the corner and come into the gas. You're going to be coming out of the gas, tipping it in max lean angle, trying to, crack the throttle, settle the bike.
Keep it just open enough.
Make your turning point, and then from that transition on out of the corner, as you're raising the bike up, coming, more and more into the bigger part of the contact patch of the tire, now you can, feed it some throttle.
Okay. And you think that applies to track riding, to street riding?
I think on anything.
So get your braking done as much as possible in a straight up and down manner, and sooner than you think you need to, just so that way as well, when you're going into the turn, if there's, whether you're on the street or the track, if there's something in front of you, that you have time to adjust as well. It gives you more control over the bike.
Right. You never want to feel rushed. When you feel rushed, you're always going to be feeling you're at your maximum, and you never want to do that on the street. You always kind of want to have an out, or feel that you're well in control, to where if something jumps out in front of you, or pops up in the road in front of you, you can adjust and miss it.
And for brand new riders that are wanting to practice braking skills, or learning to brake, front brake versus back brake, being straight up is most important. And would you say maybe it's 70-30, 80-20?
I'd almost say at least 80-20, if not more than that, especially in a straight line. If you're pointing straight down the road, your front brake is going to stop you. I never used my rear brake racing. We had to have a rear brake, but the only time I would use it racing would be to prevent the bike from weaving over a little crest of a hill. You could kind of work it with body position and roll back the throttle, but it was easier just to, as we come up to a crest, step on the rear brake a little bit and just drag the engine down so that it wouldn't want to weave over.
Yeah. On a crest, that's
yes.
it.
Other than that, it's, if I'm in the paddock, I'll use the rear brake, or if I, for some reason, run off the track, then I'm on the rear brake. But other than that, I'm using my front brake and what engine brake I have in the motor for slowing the bike down.
Yeah, that's me too, and I don't remotely ride at your level. So I literally never use the back brake on the Ninja. Even when I run off, I'm like, don't touch anything, don't touch anything, I'll slow down. On the street, I'll use a little bit a rear brake along with the front, but I'm on the Harley too, and it's just kind of, and it's only when I'm coming to a stoplight. If I were going through the canyons, I don't touch the rear brake. Okay, well, great. Well, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys found this interesting and helpful. And please, if you have comments, questions, thank you, Doug Chandler, so much for joining us today. You guys, if you have any questions, please type them in. You can also message me. And if you need any work done and you're in the Salinas area and you're looking for a bicycle, or you need any stuff done on your motorbikes, give Doug a call, Doug Chandler Performance, and they're really great. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you at the track.